Good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to this week's edition of From Dina's Desk. I am Dina Bilbrew, your career and life coach, and I am right here live each Tuesday at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, coming to you with a different topic that can help you to advance in your career. This week's topic is going to be my best job advice ever. We're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about the best job advice ever that I have. So if you know someone that you think may need this information, share this, tell them I'm live, tell them to come join the live because we're going to get into it today. We're going to talk about the best job advice ever that I've had and the 6 lessons that I learned the hard way. 6 lessons that I have learned the hard way. Now, I have been in the workplace for over 20 years now, and I didn't always do things the right way. I didn't always approach things the right way, and I learned some very valuable lessons, right? And if I could just take all of the lessons that I've learned, all of my 20 years plus of experience, and I can put it into a box, and I can wrap it up nice and pretty for you and put it in a nice, pretty red, shiny bow on top of it, here are some of the things that would be inside that box. Here are some of the things that I would tell you that I have learned and my best job advice ever. So let's get right into it. The first piece of advice that I want to give you is to keep your feelings out of it. Keep your feelings out of it. Now, as you go through your job day by day, week by week, and months and years go by, you're going to feel some kind of way. You're going to feel some kind of way, right? Your feelings are going to change because it's just human nature. So there may be times when you're really, really excited because maybe you're starting a new job. You're starting a new project, you're starting a new initiative, and you're really excited to jump in there and, all hands on deck, and you're really just excited to get started. Then so many months might go by, and you may feel a little bit confused as to, okay, why is the company doing this? I'm not exactly sure why they're making these changes. Why are they doing this? Why are they wasting money again, right? And you're just a little bit confused about the direction. And sometimes you may really just have an issue. You may just really have an issue because you don't like something. You don't like the changes that have been made. You don't agree with management decisions, and you really just may be in your feelings, right? But newsflash, the company doesn't hire you to agree. They don't hire you to agree with them. They don't hire you to like everything that they do. They don't even hire you to understand everything that they do. They hire you to perform. So their ultimate goal is to make a profit. All businesses, no matter how small or how large, no matter what their, whatever kind of business it is, they're all in business to make money. That's their ultimate goal. Their ultimate goal is to make a profit. And how you feel on one particular day, one particular week, it's not going to deter them from that goal. So if you're in your feelings one particular day, or, if you're feeling some kind of way, that's not going to stop them from moving forward. So I recommend that you keep your feelings to a minimum. If there's something that really is bothering you and you think it's something worth mentioning, make sure that you may give yourself a day or two to kind of let it marinate, have a conversation with your supervisor, wait till you can talk about it non-emotionally, wait till you can be professional and logical in bringing up your concerns and your solutions. That's the best thing for you to do. And then sometimes you have to just get to the point where you just realize it's not going to change. And then, I have to deal with it, or, think about what you want to do if you can't deal with it. But in any way, keep your feelings out of it. And then once you leave the job, once you get off the Zoom call, once you clock out for the day, then go call your BFF on the phone. Wait till your lunch break, go sit in your car and call your significant other, or call your mother and talk about it over dinner, on Sunday. Talk about it and let them know how you feel. But keep your feelings, to a minimum, and just try to keep your feelings out of it when it comes to business. Number 2, the second piece of advice I would give you is to have a mentor. Have a mentor. Have someone who can help you figure this thing out. As you go through the workplace, you're probably going to work 20, 30, sometimes 40 years. You're going to need a little help. You're going to need somebody who can help you navigate through, somebody who can kind of tell you the best approach, what to do and not to do, and someone that really can just help you be successful. And I think whenever we talk about a mentor, I think we kind of overcomplicate that. And I think sometimes we make that a little bit more difficult than it has to be. Because a mentor is just someone who's been down the road you're trying to go down. It's someone who's been there and done that. And they can kind of tell you how to avoid some of those bumps and bruises I was talking about earlier. They can kind of pull you to the side and say, you know what, the way you approach that probably wasn't the best way. Here's a better way to approach that, right? So I certainly wish that I had a mentor within my beginning years, within my first 10 years, in the workplace. I certainly wish I had someone that I could talk to one-on-one about things. And how you set up that mentorship is going to vary. There is no right or wrong. You may want to talk over lunch once a month. You may want to talk bi-weekly. Bi-monthly. You may want to talk to them over the phone. You may want to, just talk to them randomly about different things. There's no right or wrong way to set it up, but just make sure that you have a mentor that can help you navigate through. And you may have different ones. You may have a mentor internally within your company. Definitely, if you want to advance within the company, you may have an internal mentor. You may have an external mentor as well. You may have someone that's just in your industry. They may work for a completely different company, but they maybe can help give you some tips on how to just elevate yourself within your industry. And then you may just have a mentor maybe in a professional organization that you're in. Maybe you're in the same organization and you have a desire to move up into leadership. Maybe you want to move up to be the president or the vice president of that organization, and they can kind of help you as well. So it's quite acceptable to have multiple mentors for different areas and different aspects of your life and your career. So keep that in mind, right? Number 3, the third piece of advice I want to give you is to network. You need to always be networking. And don't wait until you're looking for a job to network. Don't wait until you want something to reach out to people. Networking is just telling other people who you are, what you do, your skills and qualifications, what you bring to the table. And networking is also helping other people. Sometimes you may want to just reach out to people to just see what they need, right? Don't always wait till you need something. Sometimes you want to just reach out to someone, just say hello, ask them how things are going, and then maybe see how you can help them as well, right? Sometimes you just want to just do a check-in just to see how things are going for other people. So whenever you're constantly networking and whenever you stay ready, then you don't have to get ready. If you're always networking, if you're always talking to people, always keeping abreast of what's going on in your industry, finding out the latest tips and trends and best practices, it becomes a lot easier for you whenever you actually do need some help because you already have these relationships. You've already kind of, found out what the latest and greatest is in your industry. So it's easy for you to make a transition. It's easier for you to advance. It's easier for you to move up the ladder. It's easier for you to find a different job if that's what you're looking for because you already know what's going on. So make sure that you are constantly networking, right? The fourth piece of advice that I want to give you is to promote yourself. Make sure that you are promoting yourself. Don't always wait for your supervisor to do it. And whenever I give people this advice, they kind of look at me kind of funny when I say that because they're so used to their supervisor promoting you, but really and truly you promote yourself. And how do you do that? How do you promote yourself? You promote yourself by doing some of the things I just mentioned, making sure you're always staying abreast of what's going on in your industry, constantly upskilling, making sure you're always updating your resume, making sure you're taking on additional projects at your job, communicating to other people that you want to be promoted, having a mentor, all of those things that I've already mentioned. Make sure that you are doing all the right things to make yourself be a very viable candidate so that when it does come time to get a promotion, you'll be one of the first people that they think about. You'll be one of the first names that they call when they think about who would be a great person that we can put into this role. And I just want to kind of let you know that promotions aren't always vertical. Promotions aren't always vertical. You don't always have to move up the ladder to have a promotion. Sometimes promotions are horizontal because you can go from being a manager in one location to be a manager somewhere else. And the job title might have been the same, but maybe your duties and things increase, right? And that was a promotion. Or maybe you were at a particular job and you completed your assignment, you completed everything you wanted to do, and then you move on and go do something else. And for you, that was a promotion. You moved on to bigger and better things. You moved on, from that company and you went and did something else, and that was a promotion. So I don't want you to get caught up in job titles as, something that is a promotion. If it was something for you where you feel like you are moving on in your career, then that can be considered a promotion. So make sure you are thinking about that and make sure that you are always thinking about where do I want to be 2 years from now? Where do I want to be 5 years from now? Where do I want to be 10 years from now? You should always be thinking about that, assessing any gaps. Do I need any additional training? Do I need any additional education? Do I need any additional experience? And if so, if there are any gaps, you want to take the steps now to make sure you fill those gaps and get what you need. So when it comes time for you to make your move and it comes time for you to promote yourself, you are ready to do so. And you're not waiting on other people to authorize your promotion. Okay. So number 5 is have the ability to make money independently. Have the ability to make money independently. Now, remember, we're talking about job advice, right? The best job advice ever, things I have learned, lessons I have learned. And even though you may have your 9 to 5 and everything may be fine now and there are no issues now, newsflash again, all of these jobs are temporary. All of these jobs are temporary. Take it from someone who's been laid off 2 different times. And both times I was told face to face, I had nothing to worry about. Everything was fine. We don't foresee your area being affected. And then later on, sometimes within 30 days, sometimes within maybe 90 days, I got my pink slip letting me know that, I was going to be laid off, right? And so I always recommend that you have the ability to make money independently, because definitely in today's times, the economy is, unstable, things are changing. You just never know. And there are a number of reasons why you may find yourself needing to make a change or be without work. It may be due to a layoff. It may be that you're in an unhealthy situation. It's just not working for you and causing you stress. And maybe you need to just resign yourself. Maybe you want to relocate to another area and you need 2 or 3 months to find a job, right? And you're going to need some income during that time. Maybe you're taking care of a health issue. Maybe you just recently had a child and you could take a couple of years off to, to raise your child. There are a number of different reasons why you may not have income and why you may be unemployed. And you may get the unemployment benefits, but there may not, cover all of your expenses. So I always recommend that you have a way to make money yourself. Think about what are your skills. Think about what your qualifications are. Think about what you bring to the table, what you're good at, and how can you make money doing those things independently? How can you make money doing those things independently? And there are a number of ways you can do that, because there are a number of platforms that you can use, and you can make money independently, and you can use those platforms for free. You can build websites for free. We all know about PayPal and Cash App and things like that, where you can, have your customers or your clients paying you if that's, what you're doing. There are a number of ways that you can do that, using LinkedIn to network and to, have a platform out here. So always think about what are some ways I can have additional income should my job, no longer be there and I need to make money for myself for a couple of months. How would I do that? So keep that in mind and think about ways to make money independently. And then the last thing that I learned, and again, I learned this the hard way from being someone that was laid off, is always make sure that you have enough survival money in your savings account. Make sure you always have enough money in your savings account that you will be able to survive in between opportunities. Now, I always recommend to people that you have at least 2 or 3 months worth of money in your savings account or checking or wherever you want to keep it to survive. And so if you think about how much you need each month to be able to make it, multiply that by 2, multiply that by 3, and that's how much money you should have at all times. Because, like I just mentioned, you may not be working. You may find yourself in a situation where something abruptly came to an end and you need to be able to survive. And so you want to have enough money in your account to be able to do that. So that's what I definitely recommend that you do. These are the lessons that I have learned. This is the best job advice. When people just ask me for career advice, these are some of the things that I tell them. I tell them, here are some of the lessons that I have learned in my 20 plus years, and I want to share that with you as some best tips and best practices that you, if you haven't already started with some of these things, no worries, you can start now. You can start today with some of the tips that I've given you so that you will be prepared in the future. So that has been this week's episode of From Dina's Desk. Thank you so much for joining. And if this was helpful for you, I'd like to hear from you. I'd like to hear in the comments, or I'd like for you to shoot me a DM and tell me that it was helpful. Or if you have any questions, I'm always open to answering any questions. And certainly share this information with someone who you think may be able to use it. So I will be back here next Tuesday, 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on LinkedIn and right here on Facebook with another topic that can help you advance in your career. Thank you so much for joining and have a great rest of the week.